everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make a straight slash pencil skirt. Stay tuned. These are the measurements required for our pattern.
So we are going to start this tutorial by first taking our vertical measurement. As you can see, I'm subtracting 1.5 inch from the measurements because we are going to be having a 1.5 inch band. So we are taking that out from the measurements. So that's what I'm doing. The next thing, I'm going to take my hip point, my hip length. That's what I'm doing for this tutorial. The hip length is 10. Next thing, I take the skirt length, which is 40 plus 2-inch allowance. That makes it 42. So that's what I'm basically doing round at the moment. So I'm just making my markings round the paper so I can get a straight line, so we can have a straight line. But make sure you take note of the 1.5 inch that has been subtracted from the vertical measurements. I'm using my ruler to connect the lines. So this is going to be our hip line. So take note, we are using this same paper to draft both the front and the back. So this will make it easier. So I'm just connecting my lines. So the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to take our waist measurements, which is the waist circumference divided by 4. So the answer, we are going to take it for our waist here, we are using 6.5 divided by 6.5 waist circumference divided by 4. This skirt is going to have a dart, so we add 1 inch to our measurements. That will make it 7.5 inches. So that's the point I'm marking at the moment. The next thing, we are taking our hip round, our hip circumference. For this tutorial, I'm using 9.5. The next thing, we are going to take our measurement at the base of the skirt. We are using the same measurement as the hip. We are using the same measurement at the hip. For a straight skirt, you bring down the same measurements at the hip. So which is 9.5. Take our 9.5 marking. But if you want to make this a pencil skirt, you can go in by 1 inch or even 1.5 inch. This will give it a fish effect to make it pencil to your body. So that's an option. That's the difference between a straight and a pencil skirt. So now basically I'm connecting, we're going to connect our lines, waist to the hip and the hip to the base of the skirt. What I'm doing right now is I'm blending the hip area so it doesn't give this sharp end. You don't want any sharp edges, so use your curve to blend that in. The next thing, we are taking our dart. going to mark our dart. So for your dart, your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. For this tutorial, the nipple to nipple measurement is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So that gives 4. So that's what I'm basically measuring right now. So you take half an inch to each side of your dart marking. You mark half an inch to the left, then half an inch to the right. For the length of the dart, I'm going to be using 3.5 for the length of the dart. So I'm just trying to get a straight line for my dart. That's just what I'm doing right now. So you connect your dart. So that's about that. So this will be our front pattern. So that's all for our front pattern. So moving to the next thing now, we are going to be drafting the back pattern. First thing first, you take your zipper measurement out. And I'm using 1.5 inches for the zipper. So I'm just making my points. So I'll connect that with a straight line. So I mark 1.5 downwards. So I'll connect with a straight line. So I'm just labeling it. So as you can see, this will be our zipper area. So we are going to be starting all our measurements from that line that we just made. So the first thing we are doing, we are taking our waist measurement, waist circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch dart. So my calculation gives me 7.5. Next, we are taking our hip measurement, which is 9.5. That's just basically what I'm marking presently. So we bring that same measurement down to the base of the skirt, 9.5. So as I was saying earlier, you want to make this a pencil skirt. So remember, I just made a marking, but I didn't connect anything with any line. So you can decide to take in 1 inch to do your pencil skirt, just as you've done for the first pattern. So the next thing is we are going to connect our lines, the waist to the hips and the hips to the base of the skirt. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just blending the hip area to avoid any sharpness. Just labeling our back pattern. So I went back to the front. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking half an inch from the center front. As you can see, I'm taking half an inch down from the waist, taking half an inch down from the waist. So I'm just going to use a straight ruler to connect that to the side of the skirt, the side of the front. This will enable your skirt to sit well on your waist and give it a nice shape. So back to our back pattern right now. So take note, we are cutting all that off. We'll be cutting that off before you place it on your fabric to cut. So for the back, what I'm basically doing now is I'm also taking half an inch from the waist, from the zipper area. This will avoid any zip bulge. Don't know if you notice some clothes or some skirts or dresses, you see this bulging effect at the back. What I'm basically doing is taking that away. This will give it a nice fitting and will let the skirt sit well at the back. So you just take half an inch inwards and blend it. So we'll be cutting all that part off. So the next thing I'm doing is I'll be taking our dart for the back. Our dart is 4. That's your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. This gives me 4. So you take half an inch to the left, half an inch to the right. For the length of the dart, I'll be doing 4 inches. So I'm just trying to get the point so I can connect our lines. So that's basically all that I'm doing right now. Connect the lines. So this is it for our back pattern. So if you want to make things easier, you can as well go ahead to add your allowance on the paper instead of the fabric. This will make it much easier when you are cutting, so you don't have to add the allowance directly on the fabric. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just adding 1 inch allowance to the sides. Adding 1 inch allowance to the sides of the skirt. So I'm just connecting the lines just as we did earlier.
Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on post notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post a new video.